Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News. Today we're coming to you live from our studios in Kokom, namely we're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, the cedi is strong, even though it's fast depreciating against major trading currencies. That's according to the Finance Minister, Dr. Amin Adams, who says the country is currently achieving the IMF objective of building a resilient economy.
This stability has continued into 2024 with a cumulative depreciation of 14.2%. We are safe to conclude that the cedi is still strong, very strong.
We have more as the minister describes the medium-term economic outlook as bright.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the medium-term economic outlook is bright. It's bright. It is good.
Also, radiation oncologists at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital forced to place women living with cervical cancer on long waiting lists because there are only 2 radiotherapy machines serving the thousands of patients suffering from the disease.
It's terrible. Now, the waiting time to get onto the machine is about 3 months. Yes. There's a waiting time to get onto the machine. And the machine is breaking down every now and then.
Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee set to hold SML, NPA and other key actors before the House as chairman of the committee hints a full-scale investigation into the GRA SML revenue assurances deal.
Well, we need to even bring the National Petroleum Authority to come and confront SML.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please do stay for details. The cedi is still strong, even though it's fast depreciating against major trading currencies. That's according to the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, who says the country is currently achieving the IMF objective of building a resilient economy, adding we are now seeing signs of micro-stability and economic resilience. Dr. Amin Adam says his ministry will continue to work with the Bank of Ghana to help stabilize the cedi.
The fund assessed Ghana's performance under the second review as very strong, as most of the quantitative performance criteria and the indicative targets adjudged by the fund staff were met. In addition, Ghana satisfied all 5 but 1 structural benchmark due by end December 2023 and end March 2024. The assessment also shows great strides in our social protection interventions to mitigate the cost of adjustment on the poor and the vulnerable. We are now seeing signs of macro stability and economic recovery. And I am confident to say that the recovery has been strong. It has been strong, and we will pursue all the policies that are necessary to sustain the gains we have made. Inflation is declining. Headline inflation declined by 31 percentage points from 54.1% at the end of 2022 to 23.2% at the end of December 2023. This was before inflation inched up slightly to 25.8% in March 2024, due largely to base effect, but we have seen it trending downward again. The downward trend is expected to continue over the medium-term horizon, with inflation returning to the target band of 8 plus or minus 2% by 2025. But for recent pressures we are seeing on the exchange rate movement, ladies and gentlemen, the exchange rate has been largely stabilized over some time. with the depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar halving from 54.2% at the end of November 2022 to 27.8% at the end of December 2023. The cedi stability has continued into 2024 with a cumulative depreciation of 14.2% as of May 20th, 2024, compared to 20.7% recorded in the same period in 2023. And therefore, people may see the cedi depreciating fast recently. If you compare the depreciation year to date, from January to date, the cedi has depreciated by about 14.2%. Same time last year, it depreciated by 20.7%. So on that, comparative basis, we are safe to conclude that the cedi is still strong, very strong.
Dr. Amin Adams announcing some measures put in place to strengthen the economy, hinted the government is, through the Bank of Ghana, intensifying the Gold for Reserves program, adding the gross international reserves are expected to improve. Dr. Amin Adams further assured the medium-term economic outlook is bright.
Want to increase the tax to GDP ratio from the current 14% to 18% in the medium term. We will fully restore debt sustainability by 2028, and we will continue to improve on gross international reserves to cover not less than 4.5 months of import cover in the medium term. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the medium-term economic outlook is bright. It's bright. It is good. And we all must put our hands on deck. We all must continue to support the efforts of government. This is the government we have, and this is the country that we have. We cannot go anywhere else and find better opportunities for ourselves. We have to create these opportunities here for ourselves and for our children and grandchildren.
Well, I've been joined by Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Lord Mensah, for more. I would also gauge the mood of industry players. First, let me start with you, Professor Lord Mensah, on what the minister has been saying. He says the cedi is so strong despite its struggle against the major trading currencies. What's the reality, Prof? Right, so I'm told that Professor Lord Mensah has dropped. We'll try and get him back to pick his thoughts on the update that the finance minister has been giving a while ago. He says that the medium-term economic outlook is bright. He also says that the IMF objective of building a resilient economy is positively on course. And he says there's a lot more that the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana is doing to fix this depreciating cedi. He gives an assurance that the cedi is still strong, although it's struggling against some major trading currencies. Professor Lord Mensah is back on. Prof. First, the Finance Minister says the cedi is still strong despite the fact that it's struggling against major trading currencies. What's the reality?
Clearly, look at the comparative analysis that he was doing. Let me greet our listeners. He made mention that last year at this time, the cedi was depreciating at a rate of 20.7. And then this year it has depreciated, 14.2, and therefore there's a signal for strength. From where I sit, I will not vote for this reduction in percentage increase. Because we don't have full-scale demand of the dollar on our market. The full-scale demand in the sense that government frees its external debt, and as a result, debt payment. And as a result of that, government is not demanding the price as it's supposed to be. And so if you are enjoying that kind of slow in depreciation, first of all, we need to appreciate that depreciation is depreciation. It doesn't matter the percentage rate. And that is feeding into, price levels on our market. So I will not, be boasting of the sluggish, growth in depreciation and say, it makes the currency strong. If you look at the outline that he played in terms of, managing the city, they are all tied to, external. So you ask yourself, what are we doing as a country? In terms of our production, to make sure that we can also produce to fill in some of the essentials that we can import from outside.
Is the medium-term economic outlook bright, as the minister puts it?
Yeah, well, if you look at, the numbers in terms of reference point from where we had serious problems in this country, that is having about 54 and then being reduced to 20.25 thereabouts. I would say that, yes, of course, some of the numbers look good, but inflation is inflation. If you look at the cumulative effect and the impact of these percentages or prices on our market, you can see that household income are being wiped out on a daily basis. And so, from where I sit, yes, of course, you can tout it as the medium term doing well because of the dire situation that we found ourselves in, which was admitted by the finance minister in fact, because if you listen to his conclusion, he said that we're getting into the era of a good economic management, and so therefore we should look at good future. So that means the economy wasn't good at all. So he's admitted that things are not good, and therefore with the current conserved nature of management, we can get things in line. Of course, when we find ourselves under an IMF program, we expect that we'll play to the gallery of the IMF dictate, and usually that is when our economic numbers get tamed.
Prof. Lord Mensah, I'm grateful for your time. He's a professor in finance at the University of Ghana Business School. Now, let's get on to other stories. Some prospective homeowners in the Ashanti region say they're being compelled to resell their purchased lands owing to the rising cost of building materials. In recent weeks, cement prices have seen a sharp increase from an average 82 cedis to a minimum of 88 cedis. Cement manufacturers are attributing the price hike to the depreciation of the cedi, inflation and import duties. The new prices have left many prospective homeowners frustrated as they poured in their concerns on Love FM. Listen.
What have you been able to do on that plot since you bought it from 2019?
Virtually nothing, because anytime I plan doing something on, I go to the market to ask for prices of building materials, then come and plan. But the next time you go, because of inflation, the price will go up. So all your plans that you may have to abandon. And now, like you are saying, the situation is tough. By the time you organize some money to go on the land, something might have happened and that money will be used. In fact, I'm even planning on selling the land because there's a clause that by certain years, if you are not able to develop the land, it will be taken away from you.
I was forced to sell 2 plots of mine last 2 years because I wanted to use that piece of land for school. I realized the cost of building materials will not help me to do it, so I have to sell it out. And it's not easy. Just getting a water in your house alone, you pay at least around 25,000 Ghana cedis.
Organizers of the planned Doom Summer Stop Vigil are threatening defiance if the police administration attempts to yet again thwart their protest. It follows the withdrawal of an application that seeks to block the vigil from being held at the Revolutionary Square, which is classified as security zone. In court on Friday, the police withdrew the initial application, which was rendered moot after organizers put forward new modalities for the protest. Listen to lead organizer of the protest.
Following the withdrawal of the application here at the court complex, organizers of the Dumsoma Stop Vigil say they are anxiously waiting on the police to have an invitation for them to sit down and agree on the new modalities for the vigil to come off on the newly proposed date.
We'll be waiting for an invitation from the police, inviting us to discuss the modalities for the Dumsoma Stop Vigil. Because the police themselves, they are also bearing the brunt of this Dumsoma. The last time we were at the regional police command, there was Dumsoma there. It was this lantern that we used. They were groping their hands in the dark, looking for their switch. You understand? To switch off the air conditioner there. It was this lantern they used. So I placed the lantern on the desk. It was this lantern that guests used to even log in. So that tells you where the Dumsoma has taken us to. You understand? I mean the Accra Regional Police Command, those who have dragged us to this place today, those who are falling over themselves to always prove to Ghanaians that they have become the strong arm of this government. They themselves, they are bearing the brunt and the pinch of this Dumsoma thing. Yet they are stubbornly and obstinately going ahead to prove that they are the strong arm of this government.
You say you are waiting for the police to extend an invitation.
Yes.
What if the invitation never comes?
If the invitation never comes, we go ahead to do our thing. We have notified them already. That is what the Public Order Act says. So if the police doesn't give us or invite us for a meeting, then it means that they have breached or they are breaching the Public Order Act, which enjoins them to invite us for a meeting to discuss the modalities for the vigil. So if they don't invite us, we will go ahead and hold our event successfully.
On the question of whether or not the police will extend this invitation, the organizers say if the police fail to invite them to agree on the modalities, they will defy them and go ahead with the vigil.
One will be hard put, even if that case comes back to this place. Me, I'm speaking for myself. I would disregard it. That article I quoted, now that constitutional provision of Article 41I, which says that we must always cooperate with the police, with lawful agencies in the maintenance of law and order. Sometimes we must fight fire with fire, because out of chaos comes order.
The vigil is now slated for June 8, 2024.
Drivers of both commercial and private cars have welcomed the Tanker Drivers Union's decision to call off their strike, which started on Tuesday over their conditions of service. The drivers say if the strike had persisted for long, it could have led to shortage of fuel and a subsequent increment. They argue that if they had been difficult situation due to how the prices of fuel have already skyrocketed. A Gulf filling station manager re-echoed the customers' sentiments, saying their demands for better working conditions needs urgent attention.
It's a welcoming news. We are praying that it will go through so that everything becomes normal.
And then, since that time till now, have you experienced any challenges with regards to fuel shortage?
No, before they started the strike, we had enough stock. So maybe today, when we don't get about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we shall run out. It's not possible that we can do that. It's not possible. And nobody is ready to hold the fuel. So that one is a false news. The authorities in charge should address the concerns of the drivers.
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union has called off the strike, which commenced on Tuesday over issues relating to conditions of service. Listen to their chairman.
Tanker drivers in the country put their tools down based on some challenges that we are facing. So fortunately, authorities concerned came to our aid yesterday, arranged a meeting to address the issue. So yesterday we went to the meeting. God so being good to Ghana and tanker drivers as a whole, our challenges have been addressed. What we are looking for, honestly, they have adopted the framework for us. So we are happy to see the framework working. And hopefully by July, tanker drivers will start receiving their money through the framework.
Radiation oncologists at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital say they are being forced to place women living with cervical cancer on long waiting lists because there are only 2 radiotherapy machines serving thousands of patients suffering from the disease. Approximately 3,000 cases of cervical cancer are diagnosed annually in Ghana. Joy News' Adobe Asari has more in this report.
Diagnosed in Ghana each year, with 60% of affected patients dying from the disease. This high mortality rate is largely attributed to a lack of knowledge about the prevention, early detection, and insufficient human papillomavirus (HPV) vaccination coverage. Speaking at a dialogue organized by MEC, SHAP, and DOME MSD on cervical cancer awareness, specialist radiation oncologist at Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mary Ann Dadzi, lamented over the inadequate radiotherapy machines available at the facility. She said the situation is not only putting pressure on the existing machines, but is leading to the death of many women who are placed on long waiting time before they are treated.
So there are 2 government radiotherapy centers in the whole country, one in Kumasi, another in Accra. They were established in 2000 for 20 million people, and we are 34 million now. And it's still those 2 centers with 2 machines. It's terrible. Now, the waiting time to get onto the machine is about 3 months. Yes. That's the waiting time to get onto the machine. And the machine is breaking down every now and then. If you have money, you can go to the private center. But how many people can afford $3,000 or $4,000 for just the radiotherapy? So they wait, and sometimes when it's time for treatment, you call them, oh, the woman is dead. You call, is dead. We call them, and they come in with metastasis all over. It's too late.
This high mortality rate is primarily due to the lack of vaccination, delayed detection, and insufficient awareness about the disease. Managing Director of MSD, Dr. Zweli Bashman, said, addressing these gaps is crucial to reducing the impact of cervical cancer on Ghanaian women.
I think it's important that as a healthcare fraternity, we focus on this. It is the #1 sort of cancer that, with the highest level of mortality on the continent. I can safely say that awareness levels are not where they need to be. And that's part of the work that we need to do. Ours is not just to work on the research, development, and manufacturing, but we need to create an ecosystem that is accepting of these healthcare interventions. So we spend a lot of our time and effort doing community social mobilization work, healthcare practitioner as well as healthcare consumer education. We work with religious bodies in terms of providing them with education. We work with, cultural leaders, providing them with education and information.
Addressing the issue of vaccination, Program Manager of the Extended Program on Immunization, Dr. Kobina Amponsa Achiano, noted that intervention is underway to start a HPV vaccination by October 2025.
Fortunately, the Minister commissioned the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group to advise it, and the group advised the minister effectively. So fast forward, April this year, we put in an application to Gavi, which is undergoing screening. And so hopefully by October 2025, we should be starting Ghana's program on HPV.
By raising awareness and improving access to preventive measures and early detection, the MSD, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders, aim to significantly reduce the impact of cervical cancer in Ghana and Africa in general.
Meanwhile, CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Dakasta Abuaji, says the Ministry of Finance has, as an interim measure, provided the NHIS with 2 million Ghana cedis to subsidize the cost of dialysis treatment for kidney patients. Dr. Dakasta said that the disbursement will focus on 3 hospitals: the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, and the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, whilst they await the kidney patient numbers from other public hospitals. The NHIS boss as this will mean that every 2 out of 8 dialysis treatments at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital will be free. He spoke on the AM show earlier.
I think dialysis is a very important topic, and it's become topical in the country for some time now. And I think from us, from the NHIS, we don't just add on the diseases. Currently, there is a whole stakeholders and committees working on the actual impact on dialysis. Should we add on or should we not add on? But in the interim, luckily, when I came, when we were going to Parliament, it was also topical. So what we did was we obviously informed our MPs through the Health Committee that we believe that we must be able to champion some of our corporate social responsibilities on helping or supporting dialysis patients. Gratefully or graciously, Parliament gave the National Health Insurance Authority 2 million Ghana cedis as a subsidy as we wait for the actual actuarials for the entire dialysis scenario. So at the moment, I can confirm that the Ministry of Finance has actually given us the 2 million to disburse to support as a subsidy for the dialysis.
2 million Ghana cedis.
2 million Ghana cedis.
How are you disbursing this? Which entities are getting it?
So again, there was a committee that was set up, chaired by Dr. Nsiasari. We are meeting this afternoon as well with all the CEOs of the teaching hospitals, the main ones, Kolebu, Komfanochi, and Central Region. Let me say,
how about Tamale?
Yeah, Tamale, we've actually written to Tamale as of yesterday, and because we need the figures. But the figures that were given to us were from these 3. That's Komfanochi.
So it means as of now, the focus is going to be Kolebu, Komfanochi, and the Central.
Yes, but there will be, once we get the figures from Ho and Tamale, we will.
So you are going to add them on? Of
course, we will.
Former Employment Minister Austin Game wants President Akufo-Addo to, as a matter of urgency, stop SNIT's decision to divest 60% of its stake in 6 hotels. SNIT is in the final stages of concluding sale of some of its interest in 4 out of the 6 hotels to Rock City Hotel, belonging to our Greek Minister Brian Champon. The decision has come under massive criticism, with labor unions and others opposing it. Speaking to Raymond Akwa on Upfront, Mr. Game, who was part of the commission that set up the SNIT, insists this will be the first step in restructuring SNIT.
High respect for my friend Brian Achampon. I salute him for making an effort. But this one, I beg him, and I beg my friend, my namesake, Akufo, let me call him Akufo, he won't be annoyed, it's my namesake, that he should stop it almost immediately. It does not, we don't need organized labor to go and tell him that he shouldn't do it. He should stop it immediately. The money belongs to us, including himself. So we don't want that investment. That's all, that case closed. Now we'll restructure, we have to restructure SNIT. I'm talking about the nation, Ghana.
Okay.
We have to restructure SNIT. Some of us are willing to avail ourselves to support the cause of him now or any future government right from January 7, whoever is there. I'll start walking from my house to that place. We will let them know we will not allow any dirty investment into SNIT again. Never.
Chairman of the Mines and Energy Committee, Samuel Atachian, has meanwhile hinted they will soon hold the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, the National Petroleum Authority, and other key actors before the House as they open a probe into the revenue assurances deal. This follows the publication of the full KPMG audit report by the presidency. He disagrees that their work will be a duplication of what has been done by auditing firm KPMG.
Well, we need to even bring the National Petroleum Authority to come and confront SML. That, do you see this as a duplication? What is the poverty level of your technology? What is the superior edge of SML over you? So these are matters that I'm afraid I know you have in mind. It's like you've started the interrogation already. So this is what is going to be the subject matter of our interrogation.
Chief Executive Officer of the Forestry Commission, John Alute, says despite the risk, forest guards at great personal cost have been pursuing illegal mining in the country's forests in a bid to safeguard the environment. He has appealed to saboteurs of forest reserves, particularly illegal miners, to put a stop to the operations. Mr. Alute says that he said this when he paid a courtesy call on the National Chief Imam Wednesday to update him and invite him to rally Ghanaians to actively participate in this year's Green Ghana Day.
Despite the investments made by government to end the illegal activities and threat to the forest and environment, the illegalities persist. Perpetrators sometimes come into direct confrontation with forest guards, some of whom have been killed in line of duty by the offenders. CEO of the Forestry Commission says the Green Ghana initiative is one step to reclaim deforested areas.
As I said, we are expecting planting in our forest reserves as well, where we are pushing the material back and then preparing them, and there will be seedlings to plant in some of these. We are reclaiming some of them. We also have our rapid response team and forest guards doing tremendous work in the forest. I would like you to come around with me one day to see the work they do. But what we are saying is that we are advising those involved in the illegal mining to put a stop to it.
The National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharubutu, on his part, called on the general population to come out in their numbers and support the national tree planting exercise, which he describes as God's work.
Whether Muslim, non-Muslim, Christian, non-Christian, young and old, men, women, let's all come out on the 7th of June this year and join hands with the Minister of Lands and Mineral Resources. And
the general public is being urged to show up and nurture the seedlings they planted the previous year and plant new ones.
We're still live on Journeys today. Let's take a break. When we return, there is more coming your way. Welcome to the business segment on Gen Today with me, Emma Davis. A human rights court has dismissed the application filed by Food Sovereignty Ghana and others against the National Biosafety Authority over the commercialization of genetically modified crops. After 9 years of being in court, her ladyship, Barbara Tete Chawe, referred to the case as one without substantive evidence of a motive by the Biosafety Authority to commercialize GM crops, as well as inadequate education of the public about it. Chief Executive of the authority, Eric Okorie, expressed satisfaction with the outcome.
The case has been in court since 2015, and we are happy with the way it has ended. The court has dismissed the claims of food sovereignty. What happened is that they came to court first to challenge the commercialization of genetically modified organisms in Ghana. And all the evidences they provided could not meet the understanding and acceptance of court. And so they have been dismissed. So it is a big victory, and for us as National Biosafety Authority established by the Biosafety Act 831, we are happy because we've walked along the path of the Act, and we've been doing exactly what the Act, which established us, has asked us to do. Genetically modified organisms are products that are everywhere in this world. Nobody can say, no, don't bring GMOs into the country. But what the law says is that if anybody wants to bring it, the person should pass through the right channel. Let it be regulated. Let's do risk assessment. And that's what we have been doing. And so I'm very happy that the judge, after listening to both sides, realized that there is no substance in the claims of food sovereignty, and they've been thrown out.
Unilever Ghana recorded a growth in profits of 141 million cedis in 2023 compared to 15 million cedis recorded in the same period in 2022. According to the finance director at Unilever Ghana, this was because the company has been able to competitively expand its portfolio into emerging and growing segments amidst the unfavorable business climate experienced in 2023. She spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the Unilever annual general meeting in Accra.
Unilever Ghana's 2023 annual report reveals impressive growth across its key business segments. The home care category led the way with a remarkable 30.7% increase in underlying sales, followed by the nutrition business group with a 90% surge. Personal care also contributed significantly, achieving a 45.3% sales increase. Speaking at the company's annual general meeting in Accra, Finance Director Shweta Dwivedi expressed optimism about Unilever Ghana's strong financial position.
This was a year when we had very good profits, and this was also a year where we had very good cash. Plus, we have every confidence in the financial plan of the organization for the years to come, which means that we are already convinced about the fact that we will be in a place to sustain good dividends. I'm not saying the same dividend because we don't have a crystal ball, we can't gaze into the future, but we will have, hopefully we have turned ourselves around and we are in a position where we can give our shareholders good dividends. Those two considerations in mind. And you are rightly pointing out the fact that for a long time we had actually not declared any kind of dividend because we were still getting to a place where we turn profitable, have enough cash, and can then make the declaration. The 2023 was that year.
Unilever Ghana's Managing Director, Wolf Caesar, emphasized the importance of local content in the operations.
A lot of our inputs are sourced locally and includes oil. We're always looking for opportunities where we can have a much better contribution of local content. So with packaging, we source a lot of our packaging locally. In terms of talent and all of that, a lot of local content goes into it. So integration will always be part of our agenda going forward.
The board chairman, Edward Effa, acknowledged the impact of the cedi depreciation.
Depreciation affects every aspect of our business, directly and indirectly. Some of our inputs, like palm oil, are priced in dollars. Some of our other products are sourced in dollars. And even indirectly, when the currency falls, fuel prices goes up, lots of other local costs go up. So in various ways, it affects our business, and we have to achieve savings or increase prices to compensate for the depreciation of the currency.
Overall, the Unilever Group in Ghana recorded a significant 44% growth in profit for 2023. The company also declared a dividend payment of 40 pesos per share, totaling 25 million Ghana cedis.
That's all for business. I am Emma Davis. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. JN Today continues. Please stay.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah. Ghanaian dancehall artist Ras Kuku has revealed that his verse on Kofi Kinata's Efie Kuma Love was deleted without his prior knowledge. Ras Kuku disclosed this in an interview on Daybreak Hits with Andy Dusty on Thursday. He's not thrilled about this.
Imagine laying down a fire verse for a track, only to find out it vanished in the final cut. That's the reality for Raskuku, who discovered his contribution to Kofi Kinata's Ifiekuma Love was mysteriously missing. Speaking on Daybreak Hits with Andy Dusty yesterday, Raskuku shared his disappointment and confusion over the unexpected edit.
Kofi song, okay, Ifiekuma, I was on.
Kofi Kinata's album?
The song, I was on.
Ifiekuma.
The Broken Heart?
Yeah, the love.
No, Ifiekuma Love.
Okay, the new one.
No,
which one? The reggae one.
Yes, Ifiekuma Love.
We were on?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be.
I was supposed to be on. I was on. I did my verse.
Wow.
On that song?
On that song.
So why was it on?
Kofi Missy,
I'm not asking him. Why is that done the best? It was a question.
Omusia bogise ku hey omunti asie omubusa so baba neti hu omunti asie oba mesi kovi forget one omumu ade.
Okay, so what happened?
I don't know. No.
Your verse was taken off.
I don't know, and I don't want to.
Raskuku revealed that Kofi Kinata reached out after the song's release to apologize for not including the original version that featured his verse. Despite the apology, the sting of being cut from the track still lingers.
You see me, and a lot of people, they do things to me in this industry. I just they keep quiet, they watch. I know they talk. But one day.
It could be that your verse was way better than his.
Yeah, because the first song he sang, his voice was thick.
Okay.
Then I gave him the lighter voice.
Okay.
So they went, after listening to they went and then he sang it again. And then when the song was released, the following day, Ojo came to call me and said, "Oh, you're part of it."
Please get closer.
I'm a GD, and I said, no. I said, "Oh, left with."
The music scene is never short of surprises, and this latest development between Raskuku and Kofi Kinata is a testament to the unexpected turns in the industry.
American singer Sean Kingston has been arrested in California just hours after a SWAT team raided his Florida mansion and arrested his mother. The arrest stems from numerous fraud and theft charges related to an ongoing investigation involving an unpaid entertainment system. Well, Big Chef Season 3, which was expected to start to have the finale this weekend, has been rescheduled to 9th June 2024. Fans are entreated to vote for their favorites by dialing *711 *60# and follow the procedures required. That's all for the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabua. Over to you, Aisha.
Thanks so much, Jackie, for bringing us Showbiz. That'll be it for the bulletin. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. So enjoy the rest of our programs.